Diego, Kelleher, Olenek, and McGregor. I gave out 5 tonight. I'm feeling very generous tonight. And then the 50-50 raffle was $108,650. Who's got the first question?
Dana, I want to ask you just quickly on medical updates. Macy Barber was obviously clearly hurt. Do you have any initial updates on her?
She was transported, but I don't know what's going on. Elliott was transported with a head and face CT, and obviously Cerrone.
With Macy, I want to ask you real quick. Do you know if there was any pre-existing condition, or what did you make of the doctor coming in? We don't often see a knee check in the middle of a fight like that.
So weird. I don't know, man. That was weird. Hunter, where's Hunter? Did you ever find out what that was about? You want to check her knee? All right.
Fair enough. Just quickly on Cowboys' condition. Precautionary, or does it look like he has a broken orbital, or do we know?
I thought he had a broken nose, but I don't know. What do I know?
Fair enough. Let's get to the main event. Conor McGregor, obviously an incredible victory for him tonight. What were your thoughts on his performance?
I was blown away. He looked unbelievable. You won't hear another peep out of me about fighting at 170. So, I know that there's always critics and there's always somebody who has an opinion. People are going to say that Cowboy was shot, which is total bullshit. And Conor McGregor came out. He looked fast. He hit hard. He had a game plan, and he finished a real tough kid who came to win.
Obviously, Conor McGregor is great for UFC business, but I wonder, Manny Pacquiao's team has already sent out a poster of him. Floyd Mayweather has just now sent out a poster of, the rematch. And is this going to be good for you, or is this bad for you now that Conor's going to be so much in demand again that now you got to go through all these options and figure out what works?
Was Conor out of demand?
No.
These are great problems to have. I'll deal with them.
Nice. I know you don't typically release numbers, but can you give us an idea of, how this pay-per-view is looking?
Killed it. Like, the number that we did on a fucking streaming service is unbelievable. Yeah. Let me tell you what, and I gotta say this publicly too, because the job that ESPN did promoting this fight, I have never seen anything like it. You guys have been in the fight business for a long time. I haven't seen anything like this in my life. You couldn't turn on an ESPN channel without knowing the fight was on. One of my friends was showing me today, and I don't know this shit, but there's, on your phone, there's like malls that you can go to, right? Like a mall. You can go shopping and buy stuff from all these different stores. To get into the store to buy, you had to get through the Conor McGregor Cowboy fight first and select to buy it or don't buy it or whatever. So I just have to say, the job that they did promoting this fight is second to none. It was amazing.
So coming into this fight, you teased that, hey, if Conor wins, you really like the idea of a lightweight title rematch. But this week, there's been a lot of fan demand, it seems like, for him versus Masvidal. And now that you're saying, hey, you like him at 170 pounds, what do you think makes more sense? A lightweight title fight, or maybe this fight with Masvidal?
Yeah, listen, every time there's somebody out there fun, there's always somebody fun that can match up with Conor, and everybody wants to fight Conor. Everybody's wanted to fight Conor for the last however many years. When you look at what makes sense, right, we're at a place right now where Conor was saying, going into the Khabib fight, he had lots of personal stuff, some stuff self-inflicted, he had injuries, he had all these things going on, and he has been obsessed with getting that rematch because he knows that he wasn't, 100% right. And when you look at this for Khabib is 28-0, he's undefeated, right? And you start talking about this kid's legacy. First of all, to go 28-0 in this sport is, I don't care who you fought, it's tough to do, right? This guy's a world champion. And after tonight, and with how Khabib won the first time, and how famous Khabib has become since that first fight, we're looking at, like, Hagler Hearns. We're looking at, like, Ali Foreman, Ali Frazier. This is a massive fight with global appeal. It's the fight that you make. It's the fight that makes sense. It's for the 155-pound title. If Conor and Masvidal fight, neither one of them even have a title. Although Conor does want his BMF title, but he doesn't have a world championship. So Khabib's the fight to make. It's huge for Khabib's legacy too. I mean, if he beat Conor McGregor, then he beats Tony Ferguson, then he beats Conor McGregor again, and I mean, this is how this kid, when he retires, he's 30-something-0, and he's beat all the best.
Last thing for me, Dana, Cowboy, want to get your thoughts on him. I mean, obviously a future UFC Hall of Famer, an all-time great. You said it, people are going to criticize, say shot, that sort of thing. What do you see for Cowboy moving forward? I mean, would you recommend he only fights at 155? Do you want to take time off? What would you do?
You fought a 55-pounder tonight. You know what I mean? It's just like, people are going to do it. It's just you can't stop it. This is what people do. Media, fans, whatever. Conor McGregor looked ridiculous tonight. Nobody saw that coming. Nobody. And the way that he went in there, the way that he did it, he looked fast, he looked sharp, he looked strong, and it was all about Conor. Had nothing to do with Cowboy being shot or anything like that. Kev?
Hey, Dana. You know, everybody talks about Conor's physical skills, but do you think what separates him maybe from a lot of guys is his mental ability? And it seems like, you know, he's a good game planner, and he just has that ability to put everything else out of the way and kind of focus on the fight, and it might be the thing that separates him from a lot of guys.
That kid has an incredible fight IQ, and he has the speed, the power, and the ability to back it up and implement.
And during your career, you know, you've seen a lot of guys that, you know, they were tough guys and they lose fights and they don't come back the way, you know, he came back tonight. I mean, a lot of times guys, you know, kind of, they lose it and they're not the same confidence-wise. Is that another thing that you notice in him that makes him different?
Well, the other thing that makes it different is, more importantly than you lose one and you come back, is the time off. Time off is usually never very good for fighters. You stay active, you stay in better shape, your timing is better, all that stuff. And many of you know throughout the years with me talking, I'm a big believer in ring rust. I believe in ring rust. It's real. I've seen it. I've seen it happen. I've seen it play out. We didn't see it tonight.
And last thing for me then, you know, and I told you I thought a Khabib fight would do $3 million with Conor, right? So I'm in agreement with you, but
I'll bet it does more.
okay.
Listen, when you said that, I was with you. I'm telling you right now, Khabib versus Conor is the biggest fight in the company's and the sports history, but I think it might rival Conor and Floyd.
So I just throw this out. I mean, he said he would fight in March if that was there. You got 40 seconds. Here's your problem that you have if you wait for Khabib, don't you? Khabib's no guarantee to win, number one.
Right.
And then number two, if Conor fights in March, now you have him sort of on the same path, and then as soon as he wins, he's ready to fight the winner, as opposed to if, let's say Khabib loses, now you don't know you have a rematch, or what do you do? Doesn't it make sense to bring him back and maybe put that Masvidal fight on underneath Adesanya, and you have, or in front of Adesanya, but you have him fight again, gives you another big fight at the start of the year, and keeps him active. He only fought 40 seconds, as good as he looked.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of different things that make sense that you could do. I gotta see what he wants to do. You know what I mean? I know he wants this fight, and I think he's willing to wait to get it. So we'll see. Listen, do I want Conor to fight 3 more times this year? Sure. You know, do I want to see Masvidal Conor? Sure. But you got to do what makes sense too. And I just really think the Khabib Conor fight is big for both of their legacies and obviously for the sport.
Hi, Dana, to your right.
Hi. Hi.
Hey there. So Mark Davis, the owner of the Raiders, was here tonight. How interested would you be to put that Khabib and Conor fight in Raiders Stadium?
That is not what I thought you were going to ask me, but yeah, I think that the Khabib Conor fight, you know, could be done anywhere. It could be done in a stadium somewhere. You know, it could be done at Madison Square Garden. Dallas, Texas Stadium. The O2, I mean, you could do that fight anywhere. So we need to sit down and look at what makes the most sense.
There's been a lot said this week about kind of Conor 2.0, the evolution of Conor McGregor as a professional and as a man. What did you think about his role in the promotion leading up to this fight? He was much more introspective and laid back and not as enigmatic as he had been in the past.
Well, I think he was a lot happier. I mean, I told you guys after the first Khabib, when the whole Khabib-Conor press conference was playing out, I was like, man, this is the weirdest thing that I've ever been a part of. And then I told you guys after, this was super dark, man. This was a really dark press conference, and then all that stuff. And if you look at the things that were going on with Conor at that time, and, you know, during and after that fight, what I saw this week was a guy who was happy, re-energized, and happy to be here and happy to be back in the octagon. So it was good. It was awesome. I loved it. I like Conor McGregor. I mean, I know you guys, the fans, everybody bust my balls that, you know, about my relationship with Conor, but I did not like this kid. Right? I did not like him.
Last question for me. I want to talk about Holly. So she won tonight. Holly is 36. You talked about perhaps this being her last go. Do you still feel the same based off of what you saw from her tonight?
She looked good tonight. She, you know, her and Raquel fought to a split decision last time. And Raquel's tough. Raquel punches hard. I mean, look at the fight between her and Amanda Nunes. I mean, that was a war between two tough girls. The problem with Raquel, and I've said this to her a million times, she will not let her hands go. She's got hands. She doesn't let them go. Oh, not to mention the fact that the ref let them clinch for 4 minutes for 3 fucking rounds, and they fought for a minute. That was a problem too. Driving me crazy, man. If you are not doing damage or advancing your position, you split the fighters up and make them actually fight. And I like this guy. I don't want to, you know, bum this guy out and whatever. But he's running around the octagon, you know, like I'm like, what fucking fight is he watching? He's moving around like he's trying to stay out of the way, like there's a fucking war going on or something. And these guys are leaning up against the fence for 4 minutes. Are you shitting me right now? I literally almost got up and walked out of that fight. I was so frustrated. But anyway. I've shit on enough referees in my day. I don't want to. That guy seems like a nice guy. I'm too old to be fucking doing this shit anymore, tearing these guys apart. He's a nice guy, and I don't mean to whatever, but you saw the fight. You know what I'm talking about.
Dana, there were a lot of great performances tonight. Right over here to your left. Okay.
Hey, buddy.
Yeah. Thanks. So a lot of great performances tonight. Who impressed you the most?
Diego looked really good. You know, that's a big win for him. But a lot of these kids look good. That's why we gave out 5 bonuses, right? How you not going to give Conor a bonus, right? So, and Conor makes $1 zillion. So I had, you know, I felt bad not giving one of these other kids a bonus too. So we gave them all bonuses. But he looked good. I mean, look at Dober. I don't know if you saw if you don't know, now you know. Dober was in there, but, you know, if you look at Dober's record, you know, his opponent was the guy you were looking at. He's 11-2. He's on his way up, and look what he did. That's 2 back-to-back fights for Dober. So he looked damn good and had a good performance and made some money tonight.
How surprised were you with Roxanne Modafferi's performance? We know you liked Macy. Everyone did. She's a great fighter, a young fighter. Were you really surprised, or did you think?
No, I wasn't surprised. At the end of the day, you know, when you're climbing the ladder like that, Roxanne is a tough test. We knew that she was going to be a big test for her. And if her knee didn't pop out, you know, maybe it would have been a different fight. Because one of the things about Macy that I love, and I can't remember who she was fighting, but you guys might remember, she got her ass whooped the first round. Went back to the corner, readjusted, you know, and came out and finished her in the second round. So who knows how the fight would have gone if her knee didn't pop out, but these things happen. She's young, she's talented, she's tough, and she'll be back.
I agree. Speaking about Diego Ferreira, I think he's probably due to fight a top 10 opponent soon, and he seems like a guy for real. You have any plans for his future that come to mind?
Yeah, he looked good tonight. So, and like I said, beating Anthony Pettis, and Pettis is ranked number 11 right now. So big win. What you don't want to do when you're that kind of guy is bust too far into the top 10. So we'll figure out what's next for him.
Last one for me. Obviously, it's not a pleasant subject, Alexa Grasso, that fight falling out. You may have seen that she's saying she's going to 25. She's not waiting or fighting you guys like some fighters do and say, no, give me another chance. She's herself said she's going to 25. Are you going to give her a chance there? How do you feel when someone misses like that, but they take it upon themselves to say, I will go up to the next weight division?
Listen, man, I said it the other day, too. We get pissed off when people don't act like professionals and make weight and everything else. Alexa Grasso is one of the sweetest human beings on this planet, and she's a professional, and something must have gone wrong in her camp. I think that if you look at her, she's gained a lot of muscle over the last year, and I'm wondering if that had something to do with her not making weight. But I actually feel bad for her. She's a great kid, and I look forward to seeing her at 25.
And for Claudia, I'm sure you're going to want to give her a quick turnaround.
No, I don't. She wants it. I don't want her to have to cut that weight again. She made weight, and she's a savage. She's terrorized. She wants to fight again and all this other stuff. I'm going to talk to some people and see how long we should wait for her to be able to cut weight again. There's no hurry. There's no hurry.
Awesome.
We're going to do whatever's safe.
Appreciate that.
Yep.
Yes. What did you make of the stoppage in the main event? Because there was some consensus online that perhaps Cerrone took a few more shots than were needed.
I thought you were going to say something else. I was going to be like, what? Yeah, that happened. What was the other fight that happened in?
Nazareth Dober.
Huh? Yeah, the Dober fight. He got hit with like 12 unanswered shots. Yeah, the reffing wasn't 100% tonight. I mean, that's a fact. I don't know if the Cerrone stoppage was horrible, though. I don't know if I would say that.
What would you say about it?
At the end of the day, the reality is we're not in there. We're not the refs, and I wish it could be perfect. It's never going to be perfect. It's not perfect in football, basketball, or any other sport, and it's never going to be perfect here. And I think that it's probably one of the toughest jobs in all of sports, because everybody's an expert and everybody's a critic and everybody wants to rip you apart after they don't like the way you did it. But as long as nobody gets hurt, I thought the Cerrone stoppage. Never once did I look at the fight and go, they should have stopped that sooner, like I did for the other fight, the Dober fight.
And then, so you're saying that the Khabib Conor fight, should be next, but that seems to be completely based on the fact that Khabib wins the fight with Tony. If Ferguson wins,
I said that.
What's the plan then if Ferguson should pull off the upset?
Conor wants that belt back. He's going to fight whoever wins.
It's regardless, so.
Yeah.
And if Robert Whittaker had to pull out of his bout with Jared Cannonier, there's a lot of rumors online about Darren Till stepping up to take that fight. Is there something you can...
I think so. I think Darren Till hurt his foot or something, didn't he?
Ankle?
Yeah, he hurt his ankle.
Is there any contingency plan for that fight right now? Because Cannonier...
Yeah, we're working on it.